everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin from Florals.com and today I'm sharing with you this is like a technique slash a card you can make, so it's a bunch of different things. But right here I'm going to show you how you can do some different watercolor pieces to create pieces for your cards. So I showed you a bunch of distress inks. Here are the following colors that I have. I have tea dye, lucky clover, carved pumpkin, mustard seed, candied apple, and spiced marmalade. And if I really think about it, carved pumpkin and spiced marmalade look very, very similar. I would say carved pumpkin's a little bit of a brighter orange. But anyway, I'm using these distress inks to create some watercolor pieces to punch out leaves to make some cards. So you saw me show you the Martha Stewart leaf punch earlier. For this first method, I put water onto the paper, then added the color. And I'm going to show you a couple other methods as well. This is very quick and easy, just a lot of drying time or using your heat gun, or even doing multiple layers if you want extra color. There are plenty of other ways to do several different watercolor techniques, but these are the ones I like to do. This one is the smooshing technique, in case you didn't know. I swirled mine together, would not recommend that. It puts the water in too many different places, but I covered this piece of cardstock with a bunch of different colors that I put on my craft mat. And it was kind of a muddled mess, so definitely be careful of which colors you choose. But it wasn't too bad. Just always have some paper towels nearby, especially if you work on a white desk. That can be a little scary. I added some extra color in with my leftovers up here just to add a little bit extra into the background pieces. So I let these dry to the side, and then another method you could do is cutting them out first and then adding the color. I found that I watered down my colors way too much. There are a couple leaves I like better than others. These ones take a while to dry when you do it this way, since you add so much water onto the little leaf. But I just set mine aside to dry. I even dipped a couple of mine directly into the watercolor, which you'll see me do in a little bit here. I just kept using all the same colors in my little water sprayer and my paintbrush. Nothing too crazy about this. And then distress inks are reactive to water once they do dry. So if you want to get more texture on your card or on your background, spritz some water on it after it's dried. Lots of other YouTube channels show that if you're wondering how that works. So for these ones, they look very bright right now, but they do dry quite muted. I would recommend using watercolor paper for this. I did not have any watercolor paper when I thought of this project, but it would have been nice if I did. It would have been more vibrant colors and definitely a better turnout, but I like the way it turned out. I don't think all leaves need to be pungent colors, but for this instance they are pastel more like, which you'll see in the final card here. So here I'm using my Cuttlebug and some Echo Park dies, but for these dies I wanted embossing instead of them cutting through the paper. So what I did was put 2 green foam sheets underneath it so I get a perfect emboss. And I ended up doing the A plate, the B plate, the foam, the paper, the die, then the last B plate, and that's how you get the embossing done. So I'm laying out some of the leaves I punched out of here. This was the first rendition of the watercoloring technique that I showed you, and simply laid them across. I'm using a sentiment from a paper pad collection from Craftsmith that says "Fall into a good time." Kind of a versatile one. But I made a card base out of craft cardstock that is 110 pounds, and that is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 once folded. And then the layer here, the white one, is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to glue all of this down. When working with distress inks, I often find that it does stain my fingers, but it's not too hard to get off afterwards. It depends on the color you use. Sometimes the blues are harder to get off, and sometimes the reds are harder to get off, but I mainly stained myself with yellow this time, but that wasn't too difficult. So I placed the leaves in a falling-like pattern to imitate fall. This is a cute card for that, yeah. And right now I think that it's kind of plain. I think of adding more leaves, but I wanted to keep it simple. So I add some glimmer to each of the leaves. It's very hard to see in video and in the photos on my blog, but if you want to see those, definitely go check them out. I explain more about some different products and some of the ups and downs to this project. But I think there's something wrong with my glitter pen, so I'll definitely check that out. But it's the Wink of Stella glitter pen in clear. Now I'm going to pull out some gold sequins. I pick out one color and then I decide on a different color. And then I thought I was going to do clear sequins. I could have done clear sequins. It's weird how you look back at things and then you're like, oh, that would look fine, but you pick something else and it also looks fine. But after I glue all of these sequins down, by the way, the sequins I do decide on are from Doris. At least I think they are. If they're not, I'll say that where they are from on my blog, but I'm pretty sure they're from, nope, they're not from Doris. They're from Recollections because they're the ones with glue already on the back. But that's it for this card. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to head over to the blog to get more details and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.